covered the 4 safety rules. I kind of break them down a little bit differently. So obviously rule number 1 is treat every weapon as if it were loaded. Now there's a subcategory I add to that, is know the condition of the weapon as well. So when we define treat every weapon as loaded, if someone hands you a gun, first thing you should probably do is what? Drop the mag, rack the slide, insure, right? Also too, if you pick up a gun, regardless if it was on your nightstand or it's been locked up, every time you pick it up, press check, chamber check, mag check, right? So don't just assume that it's loaded, don't assume that it's unloaded. Press checks are for free, right? You can press check it and insure. Don't let number 2, don't let the muzzle cover anything you're not willing to destroy. And the way I best define that is pretend there's an imaginary devastating laser coming out of that barrel, and anything you sweep will destroy it, including yourself. Okay? Another thing is too, this is downrange, right? So anytime we're handling that gun, that barrel is downrange. Now, in a 360 environment, downrange is wherever that barrel is navigated. So there's a big difference, right, between flat range mentality and World War 360. So that's just something to take into consideration when we talk about safety rule number 2. Safety rule number 3, keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. Rifles and or pistols, for me, I basically have an index spot. So on my rifle, it's painted and there's a worn spot on the mag well on the lower receiver because the oils from my fingers consistently rubbing and touching that spot. A lot of guys, you have your trigger guard here. I rather prefer to see that finger up on the frame. And if we get into it, and you start getting into pistol combatives and striking, where you're doing muzzle strikes and all that stuff, that will come into play, but it's a little bit more advanced. But if we get to that, we can talk about that as well. Okay, and last but not least, be aware of what's for and behind your target, especially in your homes. God forbid, home invasion. We live in KV homes and, maybe double wides, who knows, but if you throw a shot, what's on the other side of that wall? What's for and beyond your target? Always keep that in consideration, regardless if it's on the flat range or, God forbid, in a deadly force encounter, right? Bullets do weird things when they hit bodies. Sometimes they rip right through them, and they can damage anything beyond that, or they can hit bone fragments and ricochet and all that weird stuff. So always be cognizant of what's for and what is forward and behind your target. All right.